What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 6 huge mistakes that you are making that is just destroying your win rate. And it's making you either be stuck in a rank for way too long, or you're D-ranking and you keep losing. So if you don't want any of those problems, make sure you watch to the end, smash that like and subscribe, and go to the GameLeap website down below for tons of high-quality in-depth guides over every single hero in the entire game. You got to go check it out right now down below. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, the first big mistake that a lot of players make in Overwatch, especially when you really want to make it to that next rank up, right? You really want to make it to Diamond for the first time, or Masters for the first time, and you feel like you should just be play like crazy. And while yes, I'm always going to tell you, you should be playing the damn game on your main if you really want to improve, for getting those last bit of wins out and for prioritizing winning above all else and gameplay experience, you want to make sure that you're not playing at trash hours or trash times of the season. Basically, at the beginning of a season and at the end, it's going to be absolute trash. People are on their smurfs. People don't give a damn. People have already given up. It is an absolute mess at those times. And if you're playing in those games, you're signing up for a lot of RNG, a lot of randomness that you just can't control. You already feel like sometimes you don't really have that much impact over your wins and losses. And I promise you, during this time of the seasons, you will have even less individual impact. Now, the next thing that you need to understand about this is the time you are playing. So there are going to be certain times that you're playing Overwatch. Not only is it going to be harder for you to find a game, but games are going to be less balanced, and games are also going to be taken a lot less seriously. Peak hours when a lot of people are playing, like right before school happens, or like any time after like 4 on the weekends and up to pretty late at night, is probably the best time that you should be playing for quick times and just being able to get balanced matches and people just generally caring more, and there's more people up and awake and things like that. If you play too late at night or really untraditional hours, you're gonna struggle to find a game. And sometimes the people you do find are tired, they don't give a damn about winning or losing, and it could just be absolutely, definitely atrocious. But sometimes on the weekends, in the mornings, from like 10 to 3, that's when you get like the most mature audience. So if you want to make sure that you have like the most mature and balanced games, that could be the best time. But with the current state of Overwatch, sometimes it's a little bit hard to find a game during that time now, these days anyways. Moving on to the next mistake that a lot of people are making, and it's really bad in Overwatch, and I know a lot of GameLeap subscribers make this mistake, and it's filling to characters you can't play. You see, you know, a monkey, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna fill to Reaper, which I've already talked about why that isn't even a right mindset to have, but you're like, hey, I'm gonna counter monkey, I'm gonna play Reaper. I only have played him 1 game before, but I'm gonna whip him out and try him, and you have no idea what you're doing, and maybe you're decent against that monkey, but you get shut down by the enemy McCree. You don't get enough value after you deal with the monkey, or the monkey just, it completely ignores you, and you just do nothing. You need to make sure that you are filling the characters that you know how to play. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be playing characters that you don't know how to play. I think that if you want to really learn a character, I think that's perfectly fine to try to filter them, start playing them more and more, and get better at them. But if you're just trying to be a Swiss Army knife, where every time the enemy is playing something that is annoying, like a Doomfist or a Pharah or a Winston or whatever, you're like, hey, I'm going to counterpick that. I'm going to swap to whatever I know on paper is the counter, but not necessarily what I can play. You need to understand that in order to actually have a counter be a counter, you need to be playing that character at a certain level. Like, if you are not playing that character's strengths well enough, then you are not effectively being the counter in the first place. It doesn't matter that a character is a counter on paper if you can't perform what that character is supposed to do to counter. I hope this makes sense to you, because this is one of the biggest mistakes I see at a number of different ranks, and it's something that you definitely need to stop doing right away. Now, moving on to the next big mistake, and I know this one is really hard not to do, but it's something that you really need to stop doing as soon as possible, and it's trying to copy streamers. I know ML7 looks fucking cool when he like sleep darts and nades across the map and does all this crazy stuff, and I know Defran looks sick when he goes in and he just like one clips like one person after the next. But trying to copy players that not only make better decisions than you like every single second throughout the entire course of a game, but have mechanical skill that most people can't even touch, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Trying to play like Defran or play as cocky as ML7 positions without the mechanical skill to protect yourself or back that up is really just going to set yourself up on a path where you just feed over and over again, trying to copy a streamer. It's really important for you to understand why a streamer does what they do and why did they get away with it. Maybe you look at a streamer's positioning and you're like, hey, that's pretty aggressive. Why can they do that and I can't? Maybe it's because of the rank. Maybe it's because the rank is a specific way where people on their team peel for them more. And in your rank, that doesn't happen. So that is why they're playing that way. And you should not copy that because you will not get that peel. Or maybe it's because ML7 never misses a sleep dart and he's confident in that fact. And if enemies ever come for him, they're going to give him a free pick. And then you need to think about, hey, what can I do to actually play like that? Maybe if it's something on the mechanical side, I can hone my mechanics to where once I start to slowly get better and better, I can position more and more aggressively. And that's how you actually learn from streamers. You don't just copy them A to A, just copy it, copy paste. That is definitely the way that you just become this ultra feeder that everyone has on their avoid list. Now moving on to the next big mistake that is making you lose so many freaking games, and I had this trouble so much back when I was a hard grinder in Overwatch, and it's jumping right into comp without warming up. You should get a feel for when you are playing at your optimal level. And you should not try to play comp until you're at that point. You can warm up in quick play. I suggest gun game. I always suggest try free-for-all, and shooting the boss is okay. It's not the best because it doesn't mimic the movement that you're gonna find in game, but it's okay to just get started. But you want to make sure that you're playing almost to your level of competency that you know you can get when you're fully warm. You don't want to have those games that you jump in and you feel like you're freaking aiming on ice. You just don't, everything feels off. You don't feel comfortable. Make sure that you're sitting in your start position. I've always talked about this before, where your keyboard's at the same position, your mouse is at the same start position, your distance from the monitor is the same, your chair is at the same. So you feel a lot comfortable. That's going to help you warm up a lot quicker. And then make sure you're warming up before you go into that game, because not only will jumping in unwarm make you throw that game, but you're going to get tilted too. And that leads me directly to the fifth point, the fifth mistake that a lot of people are making, and it's they're getting tilted or triggered. And this is the easiest way to just start losing a game when you should have won. Maybe you lose a couple of fights and you just start getting mad. You get tilted and you want to force things through. Maybe you're not playing that well and people start flaming you and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go freaking pop off and prove them all wrong. And then you feed again, and then you feed again. And then you're tilted, they're tilted, everyone's tilted, right? There is absolutely no benefit to getting tilted in the game of Overwatch at all. A lot of times, if you are trying a couple plays and you're getting shut down over and over and things are not going right, I want you to really try to calm yourself, understand that you might be getting a little bit emotional, and then resort to a logical based play. We've talked about tons of them. Don't rely on instinct, rely on logic. Yes, playing instinctually is good in a lot of different situations, especially after you put so many hours in Overwatch. You instinctively know a lot of the things to do, but when you are getting shut down over and over again, your instincts are failing you in that moment, and sometimes they can even create more scenarios where you feed. So I would highly suggest resorting to a high game sense oriented play. Really try to break down exactly what is happening and think about things in a much more analytical game state that will pull the tilt away and actually, deal with real solutions to problems, because emotionally dealing with problems is just never going to solve them, right? And that is one of the biggest tips I can give for you. But this leads me directly to the sixth mistake that is almost going to guarantee your losses, and it's trying to appease teammates who will never ever be happy. We've always had those teammates, right? The ones that are toxic, the ones that tell you to swap off the second you don't perform instantly, the ones that are passive aggressive. There is absolutely no point in trying to appease these people. I know sometimes it feels like you have a teammate that is like an elo terrorist, right? If you piss them off, they're gonna throw your damn game. Well, I need you to have the mentality that you don't give a fuck what they're gonna do. And maybe that means that some percentage of the time they might get triggered and they might throw your game, but I promise you, more often than not, they're gonna do it based on your reaction. Your indifference actually means that they're probably not even gonna throw, they're just gonna play the damn game. And if people are toxic and really getting you tilted, riled up, or just being generally unhelpful, just freaking mute them. Just block them, just get them out of there, because if they're not actually contributing to the game in a positive way with communication, who cares what they think? You're not gonna play with them again. Avoid them, mute them, and then move the hell on. And I promise you, you're gonna have a better time playing. You're gonna actually win more games. You're gonna get tilted less. It's just gonna be a better experience all in all. But go to the GameLeap website in the links down below for high quality in-depth advanced guides, VOD reviews, tips, and tricks. We got so much damn content on the GameLeap website that you gotta go check it out right now down below. Don't miss out. But thank you so much for coming by. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I love your freaking faces. and I'll see you tomorrow.